everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you are new, if you are not new, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina, and today I'm doing another video talking about a show and breaking it down, you know, the usual. But today's a very special one because we're finally talking about WandaVision. It's been like, what, 3 months in the making to get here? Yeah, today we're going to be talking and breaking down WandaVision. If you couldn't tell, I am very excited. I have been waiting for weeks. I'm going to put a playlist of all the other shows I've done breakdowns for. Basically, I just talk about the characters, what I think of them from their actions and what they've done in the show. And then I give my overall viewpoints at the end of what I liked and disliked about said show. Because I've done this with The Wilds, you know, that great Amazon Prime show that you guys should check out. I've done it with Every Which Way. I've done it with Legend of Korra. I've done it with Make It or Break It. All in the playlist somewhere in that little white box area. I have no idea. So let's just get started. If you guys don't know, WandaVision is a show made by Marvel set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the show takes place after Endgame, Avengers Endgame. Now, if you haven't seen Endgame, I'm obviously gonna spoil some stuff, but also if you haven't seen Endgame, then I don't really know why you're watching this video about WandaVision that takes place after Endgame. Spoilers are going to be in here in case that wasn't made clear enough. So this show takes place in Westview, where Wanda and Vision live. They are the main characters, hence the term, hence the name, WandaVision. Yes, okay. Now, basically it centers around them living a normal suburban life in the suburban town. And it's gonna, like, throughout the show, it explains how exactly they got there, because after all the events in Endgame, it kind of makes no sense why Vision is back and why they chose to live in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and like this whole like time warp of like a sitcom basically. But it's kind of hard to explain it. It's interesting. Like I said, you're not gonna understand it unless you've seen like at least Infinity War and Endgame, but even that, like, you're gonna have to like do a background check on all the movies both Wanda and Vision have been in to understand what exactly led up to the events in this show. So just a heads up in case people just want to dive in. It's not the kind of show you dive into. You need a little background clarification. You need a background check. You need to make sure you know everything before getting into it, okay? Usually when I do these, I talk about the most important characters, like the main characters, and then like the side characters. But I feel like with this one, it's important that like I talk about the side characters before getting into the main characters, because there's a lot to unpack with the main characters of this show. So I'm just gonna go from like least important kind of to more important. First character I'm gonna talk about is the lovely Darcy. Love her. I love her. I was wondering when she'd come back in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because we haven't seen her since Thor, like literally I think the first Thor movie, and that came out over 10 years ago. I was taken aback by the fact that she was in here, but also like I loved it. I love that she's like actually an important character, because in Thor she wasn't really that important. She was like the quirky, funny sidekick teenager who was also really smart but also wasn't really that important. She was like Natalie Portman's assistant or intern or whatever in the movie, so we didn't get much of her. Whereas in this show we get to see her as like she's like needed by Sword to be like an astrophysician, like see what's going on up in space, but then her character ends up like doing more and actually figuring out what exactly is going on inside Westview and stuff. Like she does a lot of like important things in the show, and I like that they did that. She's also still very funny, still very Darcy, but overall I feel like her character, like I like her more in this show than in Thor. And I'm pretty sure they're bringing her back for another Thor movie. That's what people are speculating. That's what the streets are saying. I don't know if that's a 100% confirmed fact. All I know is that this was like basically set up for her to like come back later on in more Marvel movies, which I'm here for it. So yeah, love her. She was great. Next, Jimmy Woo. Oh my gosh. Okay, I was not expecting to see him either. I don't know why that threw me off, considering that like he does work for the FBI and he was an Ant-Man, so I feel like that shouldn't have thrown me off as much as it did. But when he first showed up in, I think, episode 4, I was like, oh my gosh, my favorite magician is back, yay. Yeah, just like Darcy, I appreciate that like they brought him back as like an important role and not just like comedic relief, because in the Ant-Man movies, from what I remember, because I'm not rewatching the Ant-Man movies for this specific video, so from what I remember from the first time I saw both Ant-Man movies, he was there, but he wasn't. Like, he was kind of just there again for cracking jokes, doing some card tricks, and that's about it. Whereas with this show, he was actually like, you can see him taking his FBI cop role seriously. Like, he's getting his job done. He's actually very smart. At first he was there to help with a missing persons investigation, and then he somehow got into all of this stuff with Vision and Wanda, and yeah, I don't know if they're setting him up to be in something else, but if they are, I'm fine with that as well. I kind of enjoyed his character a lot more in the show than I did in the Ant-Man movies. But the Ant-Man movies overall I didn't really enjoy, so take that for what you will, I guess. Next, Hayward. Let's get into this asshole, this prick. This typical white man thinks that they know everything and then they end up fucking it up for everyone else. So I'm just gonna be honest, when he first came on the show, I didn't think he was that bad. I thought him getting the leader like position over Monica working for SWORD or whatever, I thought him getting that position over her, considering her mom used to be like the head leader, was very weird, but I didn't think much of it. I wasn't mad about it. And then he started doing worse and worse stuff as the show went along, and I was just like, okay, I don't like you. So to break down some of the stuff he did, he manipulated the SWORD footage of Wanda breaking into the building to get Vision. She never did that. He made it seem like Wanda took Vision, when in reality that's not what happened. She went in there to get him back, to have a funeral for him, and she left with nothing but grief and sadness. So yeah, Hayward's a dick. If that wasn't enough, he almost launched a missile at Wanda. Monica was just trying to talk to her through like some plane, and he was like, launch the missile. I was like, okay, so I'm not supposed to like you. That's good. That's clear. That's good. I understood. Okay. When Darcy and Monica like walked up together, he was like, which one of you guys is the sassy friend? Yeah, that's a microaggression if I've ever seen one. He's such a dick, and I'm glad he got a punishment, but the punishment should have been worse. He's going to jail. That's it. Also, like, he almost shot Wanda's kids. He literally almost shot kids. Yeah, he needs to have a further punishment. I don't know what kind of punishment it would be, but jail isn't good enough. Jail is not good enough, in my opinion. He deserved a lot worse. Literally made a military weapon out of Vision. Could have killed many innocent people because of that military weapon. Yeah, jail is not good enough. Deserves a lot worse. In my humble opinion. You don't have to agree, but also if you don't agree, I'm questioning your morals. Fuck Hayward, terrible person. Next, okay, let's get into the twins. Let's get into Billy and Tommy. Okay, I love them. I love the twins. Hopefully they'll get brought back. I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. Look, okay, I should have specified this beforehand. I have not read the comics that this show is based off of, which I'm pretty sure is House of M, the Vision and Scarlet Witch, and Avengers Disassembled. I think I read House of M, but it was like a long time ago. I knew about Scarlet Witch and Vision having kids. Like, that didn't really surprise me all that much. But like, I don't really know what's gonna happen afterwards, so like, I should have clarified that. I have not read the comics for this show specifically, other than like House of M, and even then I don't really remember it all that much. So before like y'all come at me, like the comic book nerds. Hello, 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 welcome. You are welcome to the channel. Before y'all come at me, I really don't. I don't know what's happening. I'm kind of lost. If you want to like fill me in or give me spoilers, that'd be great. Back to Billy and Tommy though, aka Wiccan and Speed in the comics, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tommy's power is super speed. I'm not really sure what Billy's power is. I know that he's a telepath, you know, like he can move stuff with his mind. That's cool. But then like there was like one point in the show when Vision was like leaving the force field, and of course Vision is dead, so when he leaves that force field he will die. So like Billy felt his dad dying, and I was like, oh, okay. And like he saw visions, like actual visions of playing of like Vision leaving the force field, and I was like, oh, okay. And then like he was able to stop his brother from running around him. I don't know if that's like a specific power, but when his brother's running around him, this was on the Halloween episode by the way, when his brother was running around him, he was able to stop him with his hand. And then like I don't know if this is like another power of his, but when like he told Agnes, I think in the second to last episode, that she was quiet on the inside, so I don't know if that means he can also read minds. Billy is obviously the most powerful of the two, from what I could tell. We didn't really get to see much of Tommy's overall powers, or if he has more than just super speed. I'm going to assume his only power is super speed, hence the name Speed, but again, I will never know until they get brought back. Hopefully the twins get brought back. I really enjoyed their characters. I thought that they were really cute. I think that the twins are really cool additions to like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I just feel like adding kids into like this Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to be cool, especially like offspring of actual Avengers. Yeah, find a way to bring them back. I also think it's cool that like Wanda can't really control them. She tried to multiple times and like she couldn't. Even when they literally manipulated their ages and made themselves grow. Kind of creepy at first, but then I was like, that's sick. That's sick. I like the kids. If it is possible to bring them back, which I'm guessing it is after the way the show ended in that after credit scene, please do it. Next, let's talk about Ralph Boner, aka the Fake Pietro. So I feel like everyone was kind of mad about the Fake Pietro ending and the way that like Marvel set that up. They brought in Evan Peters to play him, and you know, I haven't seen like the Sony universe for Marvel, so like I haven't seen the X-Men movies with Evan Peters, but I do know like he's the other universe's version of Quicksilver. So I know there were a lot of theories about this setting up a multiverse, and like the mutants are finally coming, blah blah blah. Like I know a lot of people were disappointed with the way that it actually ended, and Evan Peters was just playing a normal guy who was cast under Agatha's spell and was just there to basically like make Wanda remember her past trauma and remember how she did this so Agatha can take her powers. That's kind of what he was there for, with no other reason other than that. Yeah, I thought it was kind of a bummer. I love Evan Peters as an actor, so like I enjoyed his character a lot, but overall, yeah, the way that Marvel set that up was kind of to me. Nothing more to say about that. Next, we have one of my favorite characters. I don't know if it's my favorite character. Top 3. So we have Monica, aka Geraldine, aka the baddest bitch on this show. Debatable. That's debatable. You don't have to agree with me. She works for SWORD, as she should, considering her mom, Maria Rambeau. If you guys watch Captain Marvel, you would know Maria Rambeau. She made SWORD what it was. So I thought being able to see Monica grown and like being a bad bitch in this show was really interesting and really nice. Her story though, before like WandaVision, her story was kind of sad. She was a part of the blip or whatever, so she was not missing, like she disappeared basically for 5 years, just like half of the world did when Thanos did the snap. So when she came back, her mom basically died of cancer. When she took a nap, like before the 5-year blip, her mom was like in surgery to like take out the tumor or something like that. So she was under the impression that her mom was okay, and then 5 years later wakes up and like her mom is dead. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Yeah, so like her whole entire plotline throughout the show was basically to help Wanda because she understood kind of what she's going through in a sense, like with losing people and going through grief. So I thought her character was really great and really necessary to help Wanda out, because it seemed like no one was really on her side, and I don't blame them. However, like Monica was kind of the only empathetic one out of everyone. Her powers, I don't know if we're getting a Monica-centered show or movie anytime soon. I know that the ending kind of left out a cliffhanger of where she's going to be going. But yeah, if she's getting a show, I'm going to need that immediately. Marvel, I know you're already setting up like 10 movies ahead. I would like a hint. At least give me a hint of what she's going to be doing in future movies, because her powers, they kind of gave me Captain Marvel vibes. Like when she stood in front of Billy when Hayward was shooting at him and Tommy, like the bullets kind of went through her body. She was able to like when Wanda threw her up in the air and threw her onto the ground, she landed in that superhero pose. I feel like her powers are going to be epic. Like some of the best we've ever seen. And again, I have not read the comics centered around Monica's character. People say that she's one of the most powerful superheroes in the MCU, so I'm excited. Please don't let me down, Marvel. Give me at least one movie, please, with Monica as center lead role. Please, I'm begging. Speaking of Captain Marvel, when Captain Marvel was brought up around Monica, she was a little standoffish. She was only brought up like maybe once or twice by Jimmy, and every time she kind of was like, I don't want to, let's change subjects. So I want to know what that's about. Her relationship with Captain Marvel in the Captain Marvel movies, like she was literally a kid, so a lot has probably happened in the past 30 years regarding that whole situation. I would like to know more about that if we're gonna get that. I know the Captain Marvel sequel is in the works right now, so I would like Monica to possibly be in that, especially since they left that ending like it's very open-ended. I know that there's a lot to come, and I'm excited. Monica is probably one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite character on this show. So Marvel, work your magic, give me what I want. Next we have Agnes, aka Agatha. Now I kind of saw this coming because I knew of Agatha Hargreaves, like the character in the Marvel comics, and I understood many people were already theorizing by the first episode alone. So when I saw the theories, I was like, oh, that makes sense. So when they like dropped that she's like actually Agatha, I feel like no one was really surprised. Her entire theme song kind of outsold all of Wanda's, and that's, how are you gonna come in and take over and have a better theme song than Wanda? She's built different. Agatha is built different. I'm gonna tell you that much. It's been Agatha all along. That's catchy as heck. Okay, that was kind of off topic. I just had to say it. That's been stuck in my head for days. Anyways, yeah, she was controlling everything. It's been Agatha all along, literally. She was controlling kind of all of Wanda's decisions, I think. Like everything happening around the town. Like of course Wanda was controlling it, but Agatha had a hand in some stuff going on. I like how she was kind of there not only to just get Wanda's powers, but also like help Wanda come to terms with everything that's been going on with her. In terms of like grief and sadness and trauma, she kind of was there to help her, even if it wasn't intentional. And I liked that about her character, and sent her in a time loop of all the shitty things that have happened in her life. That may be fucked up, but it was definitely necessary, because I'm gonna get to Wanda soon, but yeah, her character really needed that. Yeah, her ending was kind of weird. I don't really know how to feel about it. I'll talk about it at the end, but yeah, I don't really know what to say about how the way Wanda handled her. Next, we have Vision, my man. Look, Marvel, I don't know what is going on, but Marvel has me simping over a robot, and I don't appreciate that. The feelings I got from Vision in this show from a literal robot is concerning. I don't know how Marvel did that, but I feel uncomfortable with myself. Let's talk about Vision. So he was technically not brainwashed by Wanda. He was the only one really questioning what exactly is going on, but every time he did, Wanda basically like either did a jump cut scene to the next episode or like cut to the credits, like she was not having it. So Vision was the one who is trying to get Wanda to see at first that what she was doing was wrong from the beginning. As like, I feel like that makes sense because he's kind of like the moral compass. Like he thinks logically. Like he's always been that kind of character since he first came into the MCU, so I wasn't really surprised by that. He was kind of like figuring out who he was himself because of course, since he's dead and got brought back to life, he doesn't really remember who he was before. He doesn't know what an Avenger is. He doesn't know that's what he is. He doesn't know that he was basically a superhero and a villain before dying. So he's trying to figure out who he is now as this Vision in a show, a sitcom that he didn't really sign up for. And I thought that was nice. Like the lead up to who he is and him trying to figure out himself is really actually heartwarming in a way, because you wouldn't think Vision as a character, like if you look at movies back, you wouldn't think he'd be going through this like internal crisis of like, who am I? What am I meant to do? Like, I don't know. I just thought that was really cool of Marvel to incorporate into the show. I also liked how like in the show they showed Wanda's past, like, and Vision helping her cope through the loss of her brother, and the of course famous quote, "What is grief if not love persevering?" That, oh, Vision, he was honestly the comedic relief in the show, but also he had like very great sentimental moments, and I like there are a lot of quotes from Vision, especially in like the last 3 episodes, where I feel like he kind of outsold. He did a great job. Like Paul Bettany, I'm pretty sure that's the guy who plays Vision, did a great job in this role. Amazing, literally amazing. I don't know if it's possible to bring Vision back. I know that the military Vision kind of flew off somewhere, so I don't know if that's like a loophole or something. In order for like Wanda to get Vision back, she could get the military Vision wherever he went. I don't know. It's just speculations. It's just something I noticed. Onto the main character, Wanda Maximoff herself. Look, I know she's technically the villain of the show, but I wouldn't categorize her as a villain. Like, she brainwashed the town, okay? The town was looking kind of sad beforehand. Like if you look at that town before Wanda came in, it's looking kind of sad and depressing. No one was having like a smile on their face. Everyone was walking around like they didn't know what to do with their lives. Wanda kind of made their town interesting. Her putting the town through pain, obviously she didn't mean to, but her basically putting the town through pain since day one. Her like nightmares are their dreams. That would wow, yeah, that's sad, very traumatizing to the city. I feel like everyone in the city could easily sue, but she's off now, literally gone. So I don't blame people for calling Wanda a villain, and I don't blame people in the town for being mad. But I feel like no one's really looking at it from her side of things. Like everyone's like, oh, fuck Wanda. And I'm just like, but if you look at everything she's lost since she has come into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I feel like this was the only way she could cope. I mean, yeah, she could have gone to therapy, but what is therapy in the MCU? None of these characters get therapy. They get war, war, and more war. And if you're Wanda Maximoff, you get a sitcom. She lost her parents from Tony Stark, you know, bombing her home. She lost her brother in Age of Ultron. She lost Vision twice. And now a 3rd time in this show. She is labeled as a terrorist around the world. So yeah, wouldn't you go a little batshit crazy? I'm not defending her actions. I'm just saying it makes sense that she kind of went off the rails. Everyone should have seen it coming. I saw it coming, especially after her brother died. I was like, is no one gonna mention it after? Because she's kind of there in the movies, but she's not. Like, no one really got to see like what happened in between all of these traumatic things that happened to her. So I'm glad that like we got to see more of that in her character in this show. I love that. We find out that she had powers when she was little, and that she didn't get all of her powers from the Mind Stone. The Mind Stone actually enhanced her powers. Whoa. Didn't see that coming. It's now that she's discovered she's literally like a witch, like Scarlet Witch, and she has like the Book of the Damned. I'm really curious. I know that she's set to come back for the Doctor Strange sequel. That's gonna be interesting because I'm pretty sure they're doing like the whole multiverse thing in that movie. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. She's gonna kill it. I don't know if this needs to be said, but Wanda is the most powerful superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't know if that needs to be stated. I feel like it's very obvious, but in case y'all needed proof, if her nearly defeating Thanos by herself wasn't proof enough, this show definitely proves it. I'm tired of y'all like undermining and like thinking that she can't do stuff, okay? She can literally do it all. Yeah, I don't think of Wanda as a villain in this show. I think that she's just like any other person would when they're going through a lot of losses in their life. You know, she lost herself in the process. She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't have any friends. She doesn't have her brother. She doesn't have her lover, Vision, until she brings him back. And she only brought him back so they could live happily in this city. I don't think she never meant to harm anyone. And I think she realized once the townspeople told her what they were going through since she made this town, she realized that and she wanted to set everything right. So she's not really a bad person if you think about it. She didn't realize what she was doing. She didn't know what she was putting the people through. I feel like if she knew what she was putting the people through, she would have ended it instantly. Like, she's not a bad person is what I'm trying to say, okay? That's all I'm trying to say. With that being said, I have gone through all the characters. It is time to go through the stuff I liked and that I disliked about the show. Things I liked about the show. The commercials. I liked how with every episode they gave us a commercial of basically a hint of Wanda's past trauma. That was interesting. So like the Stark Industries toaster. The toaster was supposed to symbolize the bomb that went off when she was a kid and killed her parents. That was on the first episode. I was like, oh, okay, so we're really hitting close to home. And then next, the Nexus medicine, you know, to help fight off depression while also giving you more depression. That hit really close to home. And then like the Lagos paper towels, a mess that you didn't mean to make, but you need something to fix it, use Lagos paper towels. Very subtle like references to all of the movies and what she's been through. I think Marvel did a good job placing them and fitting them in like which decade, like because you know every episode is like a homage to old television shows from each decade. I think they did a good job placing them where they were. Also the whole decades thing for each episode I thought was really cool. I enjoyed that a lot. It's weird because you wouldn't think two Avengers like Wanda and Vision would like be in a show like this, like an actual sitcom show, and like being able to like flow through decades like that. Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany will be getting awards for this show. If I have anything to say about it, half of the cast hopefully will be getting some kind of award for this. But you know, I have no control over the Academy or whoever does that, but I would hope that they would get an award for it, especially Elizabeth Olsen. Elizabeth Olsen is getting awards. That I have control over. If I have anything to say about it, she is getting an award. Point blank period. I also like the last 4 episodes a lot. So episode 6, the Halloween episode, I think that was kind of the turning point for the show. It was when Pietro like came back and like had a whole episode of him just like there. And the Halloween episode is also where they got to dress like their old school like classic costumes and I liked that. Yeah. And then episode 7, basically Wanda quarantining in her house because she's depressed. So basically that's when all of her sadness kind of hits her all at once and she just doesn't even know what to do with herself. She kind of felt hopeless, and I think that's important to note because she felt like there's nothing she could do to feel happy anymore. Yeah, I feel like that's an important episode and I feel like it's gonna get overlooked, but I liked episode 7 a lot because she's actually facing her feelings and succumbing to the fact that she's not actually happy no matter what she does, and that's important. And then I also liked episode 8 where, you know, Agnes takes her back into her life and we get to see what she went through in between each movie she was in. Yeah, very important. Obviously, I liked that one a lot. I think I mentioned that before. And then episode 9, I liked it a lot mainly because of the battle scenes. I'm pretty sure Marvel's budget for the show was 200 million, maybe a little bit more, 225 million dollars. It kind of showed, but kind of didn't. But then, like, I think about the show overall and not just the last episode. It makes sense. It makes sense. The last episode was really cool. Vision versus Vision, so like their fight scene, battle scene, and then like the family fighting together. So like Speed, Wiccan, Vision, and Wanda all fighting together. I thought that was a really cute and cool moment. And then we got to see Scarlet Witch's outfit, which was really nice. We finally got to see her in the outfit. It has been literally years. I've been waiting. The show did a good job of handling the tones well. Like, you could tell, like, it was a serious show for the most part, but the way that they handled the sitcom aspect of it, switching back and forth from like serious and sad and depressing to funny, witty, and just like comical, Marvel did a good job of handling that all throughout the show. Those are the things I liked. A few things I disliked. Fake Pietro could have been handled a little bit better. Just a little bit better, because I feel like Marvel knew what they were doing. I feel like they did it just to like tease the audience, which is fine, but also like the ending for Pietro kind of made sense, but it was kind of lackluster and anticlimactic because everyone was having theories and speculating, and then we find out that his name is Ralph Boner and he's just a random civilian in the town of Westview. Kind of a bummer. Like I said, I don't like that Hayward went to jail instead of getting like an actual full-fledged harsh punishment of some sort. Hopefully we can work that out. He deserves a lot worse. Jail is not good enough. Agatha's ending. So Wanda basically like made her a permanent resident of Westview, so she's like the quirky neighbor forever until Wanda needs her help with magic later on in whatever movies and shows she's going to be in to come. That's cool, I guess, but also like what? Because Westview wasn't controlled by Wanda anymore, and Agatha never lived in Westview to begin with until like this show came about. So I don't really know what her ending was, and I'm still confused about it. If someone could clarify that for me in the comments, because I really don't understand Agatha's ending or what she's going to be doing. Maybe I'm not supposed to question it all that much, but I don't know. It just left me kind of like, huh? Yeah, that's basically it. I enjoyed the show. 10 out of 10. I'm gonna talk about probably the rest of the Marvel shows that are gonna be coming out on Disney Plus, because I'm pretty sure after this it's Winter Soldier and the Falcon. And then after that, I'm pretty sure it's the Loki series, and yeah, there's a lot of shows. And of course, I'm probably gonna be watching them because, hi, I'm a Marvel nerd. I love Marvel. So therefore, you're gonna be seeing a lot of these videos on my channel probably the rest of the year. So that's gonna be fun. Tell me what you guys thought about the show, what you think of the characters I mentioned, how you like the ending, how you are gonna be feeling about the rest of these Marvel shows. And yeah, that's it. If you want to talk about this with me on social media, here it is. I interact most on Twitter, but if you'd like to follow me on all my other social medias, it'd be nice. They'll be linked in the description below. Bye, everyone.